Thank you. I pray be seated. Thank you very, very much. Today is a historic day, an important day in the history of the mining industry, because today we celebrate 83 years of the existence of the Chamber of Mines Zimbabwe, established in 1939 by an Act of Parliament with a mandate to establish the purpose of promoting, encouraging, protecting and fostering the mining industry and doing everything necessary and advisable for these objects. Your Excellency, with your indulgence, I will go through the salutations for this official opening of the 83rd Conference for the Chamber of Mines. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, General Retired Comrade Dr. C.G.D.N. Chiwenga in absentia, the ZANU-PF National Political Commissar, Honorable Dr. Michael Bima, the Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable W. Chitando, the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs for Matabeleland North, Honorable R. Moyo, the Deputy Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Dr. P. Kambamura, the Mayor of the City of Victoria Falls, Councillor Dlamini, all Honourable Ministers and Deputy Ministers here present, Chairperson Parliament Portfolio, Committee on Mines and Mining Development, Honourable E. Mukaratigwa, other members of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Mines and Mining Development, the Secretary for Mines and Mining Development, Mr. O. M. Moyo, all permanent secretaries here present, the Governor, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, Dr. J.P. Mangujga, Director General State Security, OPC, Mr. I. Ambassador Moyo, the President of Chamber of Mines, Mr. C. Chibafa, the Chief Executive Officer, Chamber of Mines, Dr. I. Kwesu, the Vice President, Chamber of Mines, Mr. James Sekiwa, the Vice President, Chamber of Mines, Zimbabwe, Mr. T. Gono, the President of Zimbabwe Miners Federation, Ms. H. Roshwaya, the Executive Chairman, Zesa Holdings, Dr. S. Gata, captains of the mining industry, investors and potential investors, senior government officials. Allow me, Your Excellency, with your indulgence, to recognize and acknowledge madzimambo ari pakati pedu. Mangwana nindawona, Your Excellency, mambo venyu vari pano, mambo mapanzure. All the way from Zvishavane. You might know that His Excellency vanobva kwamapanzure. So the chief is here. Nditendere zvekare ndigamuchire mambo Masunda. Vabva kwamapanzure zvekare vari vapasere apa musati masvika kwenyu, Your Excellency, tokufanira kwamaSunda kana kuti vari serere vaMasunda vari pano, mambo Masunda vari pano. Nditendere zvekare ndibvunze kana mambo venzvimbo ino vari pano, ndasina kuvaona hangu, kuti vari vasvika here. Kana vasati vasvika we recognize mambo venzvimbo ino yeVictoria Falls and we give him all due notice. Thank you very, very much. Your Excellency, that protocol having been dispensed, it is my pleasure now to for the welcome remarks by the resident minister of Matabeleland North, to ask for the Minister of State, Honorable Ara Moyo, to come through and give us his welcome remarks. Let's give him a big round of applause as he comes through.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, the President of Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the Vice President of Republic of Zimbabwe, Retired General Comrade Dr. CGDN Chiwenga in absentia, Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable W. Chitando, MP, Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Honorable Professor Mthuli Ncube, I think he's represented, Deputy Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Dr. P. Kabamure, all Honorable Ministers, Deputy Ministers here present, the Secretary for Mines and Mining Development, Mr. O.M. Moyo, all permanent secretaries here present, the Governor of Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, Dr. J. P. Manguja, the President of the Chamber of Mines and Mining Development, Mr. C. Chibafa, the CEO of Chamber of Mines of Zimbabwe, Dr. I. Gwesu, the President of the Zimbabwe Miners Federation, Ms. H. Rushaya, the Executive Chairman, ZESA Holding, Dr. S. Gata, captains of mining industry, investors, and potential investors, senior government officials, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege and honor to welcome you all to the beautiful resort city of Victoria Falls as we meet again to discuss ways of ensuring the development of the country's mining sector. This year's conference is being held under the theme Consolidating Growth Drivers for the Mining Industry. We are delighted to have you here with us at this important gathering, which is a testimony of the good working relationship that is existing between government and the private sector for the benefit of the nation. Our beautiful province plays a pivotal role in national economic development, in particular in the tourism and mining sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, as Matabele North Province, we are very proud to be endowed with a lot of minerals resources, including coal, and methane gas, tin and lithium, among other minerals. Your Excellency, with all these minerals endowment, Matabele North Province is surely geared to contribute significantly to the mining sector's milestone of the US $12 billion mining sector by 2023, ultimately to the national vision of Zimbabwe becoming an upper middle income economy by 2030. In the same vein, my province also expects the mining sector to provide a corresponding impetus for economic growth as we leverage and the geological endowment. As we work towards devolution and resources and governance as a development strategy enshrined in the Constitution of Zimbabwe, it is also my belief that mining will take a leading role in the development of Matabeleland North Province. I am therefore glad that we are meeting again today as we continue to shape our mining industry. We are glad that as a province we are witnessing a booming mining sector, as most projects in our province are expanding operations and new projects are coming up. It is pleasing to note that there are more companies investing in coke oven batteries, thereby value-adding our coal production. Your Excellency, these kind of projects are beneficial to our local communities through employment creation and infrastructural development. We still expect more benefits in our communities from the projects through corporate social responsibility programs. Going forward, inspiring by the principle of devolution, as a province, we are going an extra mile in ensuring that our province is developed, ushered on every available opportunity that comes our way, and also taking advantage of our readily available natural resources endowment. To this end, as Matabele North, we will take a keen interest in the successful development of the mining sector. As I conclude, let me wish you a wonderful stay here in Victoria Falls and enjoy our warmly hospitality. I thank you.
Changed. It's so much better now. And when I performed it on the actual night, there were a couple of oh my, as if a little grade 2 boy had actually done something worth doing.
That speech. Allow me, again, Your Excellency, to recognize Chief Ngugu Wane. I pray I got that correct. Who is the leader of the chiefs in Matabeleland North. He is here, Maripano. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. That being said, thank you very much for the welcome remarks. Allow me to just say to the speakers that are going to be coming up, please, with regards to the salutation, please obviously salute His Excellency the President, the Minister of Mines, and thereafter all protocols observed. You do not have to go through the whole list. You can then say all protocols observed after having acknowledged and saluted His Excellency and the Minister of Mines, who is our host this morning. Allow me to call on the President, Chamber of Mines, Mr. Collins Chibafa, to come through and give us his remarks. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Pieces that have been entered in competitions every now and then, and I think the playwright part of things comes from 2016, when I wrote a play for my school that was put on the main stage, and fairly large audiences came to attend. The show was very well received.
The President of our Republic, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, our Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Chitando, all protocols observed. It is my singular honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the 22nd edition of our annual mining conference, which is running under the theme Consolidating Growth Drivers for the Mining Industry. On behalf of the Chamber of Mines, and indeed the mining industry, I graciously thank you all for having taken your valuable time from your busy schedules to share your thoughts and ideas on the country's mining industry. Your Excellency, we are delighted that you have once again taken time from your busy schedule to grace this annual mining conference. Your continued presence at this event signals the importance that government attaches to this conference, which has evolved to be the prime endeavor on mining matters. Over the years, the annual mining conference has played a key role in building consensus on the pertinent issues that affect the mining industry. It has further played an important role in aligning stakeholders and reducing information asymmetry. Allow me, Your Excellency, to thank you most sincerely once again for being part of our mining conference. The Chamber of Mines commends government for creating an enabling and conducive environment that has seen a number of positive developments in the mining sector. This has culminated in the commissioning of new mines across the key sectors of gold, coal, and lithium, among others. Your Excellency, we are happy that you have been commissioning some of these projects, demonstrating your unwavering commitment to ensure that the mining industry maximizes its contribution to the socio-economic development of the country. Two examples that come into mind are the recent commissioning of Eureka Gold Mine and Riozim's Biox plant. With these and other projects firmly being part of Zimbabwe's mining landscape, we are convinced that the 12 billion vision is on course. The spin-offs that come from this growth are large for our country and the economy in general, and stand to benefit, our country stands to benefit from this expansion of the mining industry. The Chamber is gratified that the National Development Strategy clearly recognizes the role that mining is expected to play in transforming Zimbabwe into a higher middle-income economy by 2030. We note the responsibility placed on the mining sector in realizing this 2030 vision, and our support of the mining vision of 12 billion industry by 2023 is assured. The Chamber of Mines remains committed in supporting government policy, as it has always done, and will continue to do, in offering advice to government on matters that pertain to our industry and how we can realize our full potential. We are further encouraged by government's efforts to achieve macroeconomic stability, to promote the use of our local currency, and to instill market discipline. Your Excellency, the measures you announced on 7 May 2022 are bringing about a convergence in exchange rates. And ultimately, this is benefiting mining companies who are largely exporters, who effectively were losing about 20% of their revenue, given the disparities between the official and the parallel market rates. In addition, we extend our thanks for some of the other measures that government has effected, which have addressed some of the challenges that we face as an industry. Some of these measures include the suspension of the proposed beneficiation tax on platinum producers. This on the back of the work that the industry is doing in achieving local beneficiation. Your Excellency, as we gather here, COVID-19 has remained an issue of concern for the industry, albeit with reducing fatalities. As we continue to manage the pandemic on guidelines from the Ministry of Health and from the WHO, there's recognition that these efforts are beginning to bear fruit as we see a reduction in infection rates in our industry. From a performance of the industry perspective, Your Excellency, we emerged from COVID disruptions and rebounded in 2021 and achieved a 3.4% growth in the sector. This on the back of a 9% contraction in 2020. The recovery was largely driven by a 50% increase in output from the gold sector, a 58% increase in output from the diamond sector, and this supported by firming international prices, resulted in the sector generating 5.2 billion exports, or 83% of the country's foreign currency receipts in 2020. In the current year, the positive growth has continued. We've seen growth in significant output from various minerals. If you look at gold, it's up 86%. Lithium is up 83%. Diamonds are up 51%. Coal is up 21%. PGMs are up 13%. Nickel is also up 13%. Notwithstanding the above, the mining sector continues to perform below its full potential, with average utilization at about 80%. This on the back of some of the challenges that continue to affect our sector. The three key challenges that our sector continues to deal with, firstly, relate to foreign exchange shortfalls and our ability to utilize the local currency that we get when we surrender part of our export proceeds. A significant number of our companies are in expansion mode, and with this, they require significantly more foreign currency to be able to import the plant and machinery required to achieve increased output. As a sector, we continue to engage with the Reserve Bank to address some of these challenges, and we continue to push for a higher retention. We also continue to push and also to await the finalization of measures that will allow miners to pay a lot more of the local taxes, utilizing some of the local currency that we get when we surrender part of our export process to the Reserve Bank. The second constraint that is hampering the industry is power supply. Some of our mining companies, especially those that are not on dedicated lines, continue to face power outages, this resulting in lost production. We continue to appeal and to engage with our colleagues from ZETDC to prioritize allocation of power to mining companies. Finally, Your Excellency, area around legislative and policy matters. We've been working closely with government in addressing some of the outstanding legislative issues affecting our industry. These primarily include finalization of the amendments to the Mines and Minerals Act. We're looking at amendments to the Gold Trade Act. And finally, the legislation repealing the indigenization on the mining sector. Your Excellency, yesterday we held a symposium on the key challenges facing the gold sector. Some of my colleagues will come through and share the outcome of that, but that symposium ran under the theme Unleashing the Potential of Zimbabwe's Gold Industry. We had presenters from Tanzania who shared some of their experiences and how they've been able to grow the contribution of the artisanal small-scale miners to the output from the gold sector. This the learnings from this symposium will be implemented, and we look forward to continued growth from the gold sector. The outcome of the main conference is expected to shape policy formulation and promote the development of growth of the mining sector in the medium to the long term. We look forward to an interactive and successful conference. Thank you.
I just wonder if his speech is shorter or longer than Collins. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, the Honorable Minister of Mines and Mines Development, I greet you all. Good morning to everybody. I'm going to try to be short, as I think the Director of Ceremonies has tried to indicate that I need to move a little bit fast. I'm actually very honored and privileged to be here invited to the Zimbabwe Chamber of Mines conference, annual mining conference, and the setting could not have been any better on the famous Victoria Falls city. Tourism is already picking up from the COVID-19 pandemic. As we were flying yesterday from Johannesburg to here, I noticed that there was only 2 people of the color of me, and the rest were a different color, primarily from the Asia and the American world. So this really is an indication that tourism is definitely on the increase. I say so because 70 kilometers from here is also the heart of Botswana's tourism, which is Kasane. So that is also appreciated to see the people increasing. Now, I think if we go on to the mining issues, we are aware that mineral resources have had significant contributions to the economies of Africa for centuries. The point of departure, though, is that the contribution could have been more pronounced if the strategy of the African mining vision had been set a bit earlier than February 2009. The vision seeks to set an impartial approach to the development of the minerals between the communities around where these deposits are found, the political governance, and the companies that are exploiting these minerals. It would be amiss for resource-rich nations to appear less favorable on the world economic scales when such resources are at their disposal. Few of these minerals are mined in areas that are close to the urban areas where all infrastructure and utilities are in abundance. The host country should endeavor to avail such to unlock the potential to exploit these minerals to the fullest extent. Botswana has seen more discoveries of these minerals post-investment in infrastructure such as roads, grid power transmission, telecommunications, and so forth. Initially, the mineral exploration was focused more to the eastern part of the country, but once such infrastructure was made available to the western part of the country, this facilitated mineral discoveries such as the Kalahari Copper Belt, which, as you know, it does not exhibit large-scale reserves nor high grades in comparison to our neighbors, but certainly sufficient to sustain mining activities profitably. The concept is to utilize these resources to sustain our economies and improve upon local communities through employment opportunities as well as improved local economy. Diamonds have been the backbone of Botswana's economy for a considerable period of time since mining commenced in the last century. At one point, Botswana was the largest producer of natural diamonds by value and quantity worldwide. The proceeds from these diamonds was used to develop other sectors of the economy. Up until the turn of the century, diamonds contributed 45% of the country's GDP, but today it has dropped to just 12%. The absolute value contribution has changed slightly, barring inflationary and price fluctuations. The landscape, though, has changed, depicting other sectors contributing to the GDP to have grown significantly. Tourism has increased to 18%, whereas the financial services sector has contributed 15% as at the end of 2020. These figures are obtained from Bank of Botswana statistics. More of these other sectors are showing growth, even though not at the levels of the two mentioned above. It is vital that such efforts are made to improve on the value add. It remains logical that this would create a positive attraction to enhance the contribution of the various sectors. The economy would therefore be much improved on a sustainable basis, more so if the minerals are still there or to a point where improvement from other sectors themselves could carry the economy going forward. We all know that minerals are a finite resource, and at one point or the other,
they will either be diminished or reduced to nothing. So we have to try to develop other sectors of the economy to make sure that the economy becomes sustainable thereafter. Botswana has had a very good and sustainable relationship with De Beers Diamond Mining Company, a South African diamond mining giant and largest producer of diamonds in the world. Over a period exceeding 5 decades, the diamond producer has always been taken, the diamond produce has always been taken to London for aggregation with other countries' products and later marketing across the globe. In an effort to enhance value add to the country of Botswana, the two parties, that is the government of Botswana and De Beers Diamond Company, entered into an agreement to relocate this part of the value chain to Botswana. This has been a very successful exercise, with downstream activities having been created in the country, such as diamond cutting activities and jewelry manufacturing. And I think this is commendable from the two parties of De Beers and the government of Botswana. This has been driven in part by the African Mining Vision in its desire to make value add in the country of origin. Additional work is currently underway to establish the feasibility of value add to some of these minerals through beneficiation within the country, such that marketing can be of finished products rather than semi-finished or raw materials. Some of the work carried out so far has yielded positive results and are awaiting implementation. I think we also see in that implementation regional cooperation being of utmost importance. In looking at the world mining production figures, only 3 African states feature in the top 20 by value, and these are South Africa, DRC, and Zambia. However, when you use some of the search engines, the African continent has significant quantities of minerals. There must be some imbalance in the whole mineral production value chain, and this imbalance needs to be resolved. The government of Botswana recently promulgated a law that would enable citizen participation in the mining industry. In transition from an exploration to a mining entity, the government has always had 15% first refusal that they would pay for on participation in the mining venture. The law has been changed or reviewed, however, to enable citizens to pick up the 15% from the mining entity where the government has not shown interest. But this 15% is not free and has to be paid for, including the exploration part of this 15%. This has been viewed across the country as a step in the right direction through creation of space for the citizen entrepreneur to participate in an industry that the average citizen would not have done so in similar circumstances or other circumstances. The government has also encouraged local manufacturing of goods destined for the mining industry, where the industry is allocated land in what is called special economic zones, and incentives are made available to this manufacturing entity to be able to supply this particular part of the sector of the economy. There's been a significant uptake in this drive. The concept, though, is not to crowd out foreign direct investment, but to create an opportunity for local manufacturing where import substitution is another objective of this drive. The local provision is not limited to goods, but also to services as well. The supply chain of the mining industry is another area of focus, with the communities are encouraged to participate in supplying goods and services to the industry. This has proved successful, again with the aim of encouraging sustainable development. These export director of ceremonies have had a telling effect on the development of Botswana's economy. It has created employment around the country and engaged sustainably on mining development. I think minerals in the region should play an important role in mining sustainability, employment creation, and economic growth. And really would like to encourage that the mining within Africa should take its place and really realize the value of the minerals that are mined from this continent. With that, Director of Ceremonies, I want to thank you.
Is Old Mutual. Shall we give a big round of applause to Old Mutual, ladies and gentlemen? But beyond that, Your Excellency, our partners that I would like to acknowledge this morning, platinum sponsors, EcoBank, Old Mutual that I've just mentioned, Stanbic, which gave us a great party last night. Well done, Stanbic. Mimosa Mining, MMCZ, Nedbank, and Cell Insurance, our platinum sponsors, and our gold sponsors, ZB, CBZ, Zimplats, and Unki Mine. The list, I'm still getting the rest of the sponsors, but so far, let's give a big round of applause to each sponsor that has made this possible. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, with your indulgence, now I will move to the remarks by the Honourable Minister of Mines and Mining Development, who will give a few remarks, but specifically, he is then coming with a mandate to introduce our guest of honour this morning. May I ask our delegates, we also have, Your Excellency, away from this room, we've got an overflow room in the next room that are watching. If you can, guys, I know you've been following. Sorry, I called you overflow, but yeah. We've got more delegates in the next room that are watching via Zoom, and a couple of rooms as well. So these are not the only delegates that are here. We've got a bigger number that is attended this year, and of course, those that are watching us on the different media platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter. Thank you very much for being a part of this conference. Honourable Minister Chitando, with your indulgence, please, if you may come and introduce our guest of honour. Let's give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. As I introduce our guest of honor, I wish to recognize the presence of the ruling party, represented by Comrade Bima, the political commissar. Wish also to recognize the Minister of State for Matabeleland North, the Mayor, Your Worship, Mayor of Victoria Falls. I also wish to recognize members of Parliament, and particularly led by the chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Mkaratihwa. I recognize the Deputy Minister in the Ministry, Honorable Kambambura, the Permanent Secretary, Chief Director Tawa, Chief Director Manyuchi. I also recognize the Chamber of Mines of Zimbabwe, led by the President of the Chamber of Mines, Chibafa, and Zimbabwe Miners Federation, led by Madame Henrietta Shwaya, members of the Chamber of Mines, members of the Zimbabwe Miners Federation, the chiefs here in present, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. When you look at developed economies, they all start with a vision. Economic transformation, economic development is not an event, it's a process. And it just doesn't happen. It happens with purposeful policy interventions to achieve the required target. Now, in Zimbabwe, at the onset of the Second Republic, our guest of honor came up with an economic vision, with the vision for the country, for it to be an upper middle income economy by the year 2030. That was the vision. Our guest of honor then came up with Zimbabwe is open for business mantra, which has yielded the result of the investments we are having. When we talk of a 12 billion mining economy, up from 2.7 billion, it's because of investment. But that investment, for it to happen, is the Zimbabwe is open for business mantra, which our guest of honor has come up with. We do have very significant, as was mentioned by the President of the Chamber of Mines, projects which have been commissioned, which are being commissioned, which are in the pipeline. But suffice to say, almost every medium to large mining sector entity is either in expansion or planning expansion, or has got projects which have been commissioned. And really, I thank you for heeding the call by His Excellency of the Zimbabwe's Open for Business mantra, which has and will see a 340% increase in our mining industry from a base of 2018. I will not go into the details of the projects, but I just want to single out some of the projects. And if I don't mention any investors' projects, not that is not important, no, but just some projects. Firstly, on the gold side, His Excellency a few weeks ago commissioned the BIOX plant in Kadoma. It's very significant in the sense that as a country, from the gold side, one of the hindrances which we have had or challenges was our ability to treat refractory ores. And that was very significant as a country to have a significant investment in the treatment of refractory ores. I also would like to single out the work which is going on towards the establishment of a PGM's base metal refinery. So we will be, by 2025, we'll be processing our PGMs, our base metals in the country. I also would like to point out a significant development which Honorable Moyo referred to in a massive increase in the production of cocoa. In 2017, the country produced around 250 to 280,000 tons of cocoa. By the end of next year, the country will be producing over 2 million tons of cocoa. And there are plans for the country by 2025 to produce over 5 million tons of cocoa. I would like also to single out the Tsingshan Consolidated Mining Project, which sees the value addition of our ferrochrome, of our coke, of our iron ore to produce carbon steel, and the first production coming up by early next year. As we walk this journey towards the achievement of the 12 billion, as we walk towards further interventions which will be announced by His Excellency beyond the 2023 milestone, there have been some policy interventions, some which have affected some of us here, which include but not limited to the ban of chrome ores, on the export of chrome ores, to the ban on the export of chrome concentrates. But that has yielded results because we have phenomenal growth in chrome smelters. There has been the ban on the export of unprocessed black granite. And we have over 8 projects which are taking place around the country in black granite processing, all contributing towards the 12 billion industry. We have effected a ban on coke byproducts because we want Zimchem in Redcliffe to get operational. We have effected a 10% quota on processing of diamonds, value adding locally. All these interventions, all what I have said, are part of the process of achieving the 12 billion. All what I have said are part of the process to achieve an upper middle income economy by the year 2030. 2 weeks ago, Zimbabwe hosted the Kimberley Process Review, and I thank industry for their cooperation and support in facilitating the review which took place. All again towards the journey of Zimbabwe attaining an upper middle income economy. That journey is irreversible. That journey is taking place day by day. And it is my singular honor to introduce a man who has come up with that vision and a man who has put Zimbabwe into an irreversible economic development mode. Your Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, may I request Your Excellency, sir, to address the crowd.
Our Director of Ceremonies, I'm sure when you were restricting us to limited salutation, you did not include me. Hoping that I'm correct, we're going to go through the salutations. The Vice President and Minister of Health and Child Care, Honorable General Retired Dr. C.D.J. Chiwenga in absentia, the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Matabele North Province, Honorable Mara Moyo, the Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Winston Chitando, and the Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers who are here. Chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Mines and Mining Development, Honorable Kara Tikwa, Governor of the Reserve Bank is here. Oh, there you are, yes. Welcome. Mayor of the city of Victoria Falls, His Worship, Excellency, His Worship, Councillor Namini. President of the Zimbabwe Chamber of Mines, Mr. C. Chibaya. President of the Zimbabwe Miners Federation, Madam H. Ushuaia. Executive Chairman Zesa Holdings, Dr. Carter. Mining Sector Executives who are here, Mazimawedu, Maripano, the CEO of Botswana Chamber of Mines. In Zimbabwe, we have the president of the Chamber of Mines. In Botswana, we have the CEO. Ladies and gentlemen, if I heard you correctly, Mr. President Subafa, you said that the Chamber of Mines was created in 1979. It is about 83 years ago. Is there anybody in this room who is older than that? Well, nobody, okay? But this is the 22nd annual conference. Not correct? Out of 83 years. Is there a headmaster here? Give him marks. Well, it gives me great pleasure to once again address the annual conference of the Chamber of Mines of Zimbabwe. Mr. President, you interchanged the conferences in now. An interview is more serious than a conference. I'm not so sure which one you want to use. And I'm advised that this is a conference. So, we are holding this conference here in the city of Victoria Falls. My attendance is testimony of the importance of my administration which accords importance to the mining sector is one of the key drivers of the socio-economic development of our motherland. This conference takes place at a time when our country, as with many other countries across the world, is confronted with disruptions as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and other global shocks, which have seen mixed fortunes in the various sectors of the economy, including the current war in Russia and Ukraine. I, however, want to commend the mining stakeholders in our country for the notable milestones realized across the key minerals such as gold, which rose by 86%, diamonds has increased its production by 51%, coal 21%, and platinum by 50%. This is highly commendable. Well done to you all. However, despite these successes, and in line with the theme of this year's conference, consolidating growth drivers for the mining industry, and of course, I urge mining houses to scale up the implementation of robust and forward-looking strategies for accelerated and sustained growth. In this regard, it is imperative for the mining and metals industry to take advantage of the rebounding commodity prices and other developments such as a boom in the construction sector. Demand for steel globally, as well as rising need for lithium among other minerals, should be taken advantage of. Equally, investments and local productivity within our mining sector must be reflective of these broader global market trends. Growth in the mining sector will also be encouraged on increased investments in new technologies and operations which are aligned with government's trust on value addition and beneficiation. Gone are the days of exporting products in their raw form. Focus, therefore, should now be on unlocking value from our rich mineral resource base for sustainable socio-economic development for our country. However, beneficiation in mining cannot be achieved by a business-as-usual mindset. It requires the development of backward and forward industrial linkages within the mining sector and across other sectors of the economy. In this regard, I want to express gratitude to mining houses that have invested in the local beneficiation and the value addition of minerals such as chrome, granite, gold, diamonds, and coal, among others. Those who have not done so, I encourage them to do so. My government is also in constant engagement with Platinum Group of Metals producers to ensure the setting up of a precious metal refinery in the shortest possible time. I hope they are represented here. That my government is also in constant engagement with you, the Platinum Group of Metals producers, to ensure the setting up of a precious metal refinery in the shortest possible time. I understand that your colleagues from South Africa are here. I'm not advocating moving business away from South Africa, but I'm advocating for embracing technology in Zimbabwe. As you do so, however, the importance of the sustainable extraction of minerals in a manner that does not negatively impact communities and ecosystems cannot be overemphasized. It is my expectation that mining houses now begin to green their operations through responsible mining towards low carbon emissions and a sustainable mining sector. Sometimes as I fly around in a helicopter, I see many places where you people here, you've dug up holes and you are gone. I just see the holes and I know that someone did must be you. So please, you should not invite me to introduce draconian legislation to compel you to green and maintain your areas of operations. Further, the emerging environmental, social, and governance thrust in the mining sector now demands that mining houses create real benefits for the communities in which you operate. I know your mission, your thrust, your focus is to make money. I agree with you. As you make your money, make those people around the world you make money happy. If they come to complain to me, between them and you, obviously their support will be voted. Over and above supporting levels, it is also necessary for you in the sector to increase investment in the protection of the environment while building long-term community resilience. In this endeavor, capacity building for mining sector professionals, environmental, social, and governance matters must be given due attention within your entities. Meanwhile, I exhort the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development and Environmental Management Agency to ensure that mining houses abide by their commitments in their environmental impact assessments. Additionally, the mining sector must strive to be a model employer. By rewarding employees at favorable levels of remuneration. As you grow and develop, employees within the mining sector must not be left behind. Because as you grow, you also grow your profits, your industry, your respective mining entities, and in the process, grow with your workers. In order to foster increased development of the mining sector, my government will continue making the necessary investments in infrastructure development. We stand ready to welcome the participation of the private sector, including mining houses, in complementing government efforts in the provision of infrastructure. As we go around to the Ministry of Mines, yes, sometimes I fly, but sometimes we drive. And the roads from the mine or to the mine, from the international road, very poor. And the blame is put on government. But the government has done its part by giving you license to mine. So you must also play your part in developing infrastructure and roads to complement government efforts. That is my view. Ladies and gentlemen, technological breakthroughs and further investment in research and development, coupled with the adoption of modern mining, financing and production models, must further see the growth of the mining sector through increased extraction as well as value addition and beneficiation in a sustainable manner. You know that mining is not like farming. I'm a farmer. Farmers are good people. They grow food this year, again next year, again next year. Father and mother die, the children again grow this year and the next year, then they will die. The grandchildren also grow the food, and also they die. But your sector, once it has extracted gold or platinum or chrome or diamonds, finished, finito. So we must be more strict with you, because you are in an industry where after extraction of the mineral, it does not grow again unless you didn't get correct education. I'm told it is correct. If you remove the chrome, it doesn't grow again. If you remove the gold, it doesn't grow again. But when you harvest our wheat, you harvest our maize, you can grow it again on the same piece of land. So it is critically important that our mineral resources in the country are extracted to the maximum benefit of not only the company mining, but also for the communities where we mine. The sector is aiming to leverage on the Second Republic's remodeled education and training pathway, which is Education 5.0, which is informed by our national skills gap. We did a national skills audit and discovered the skills gaps in our economy. Then we modeled our higher institution education system to attain to the skills gap in our economy. So this must in turn ensure that the hiring of skilled professionals and artisans to feed into the country's development trajectory. I therefore call upon the mining sector yourselves to partner with our institutions of higher learning and professional associations to guarantee development of sustainable future talent pipeline with the relevant mining sector skills. You produce skills which continue to be relevant in the digital world that we are now facing. I also challenge the sector to take advantage of the ongoing fourth industrial revolution to automate and digitalize for more targeted and efficient mining operations, while at the same time reskilling and multi-skilling its workforce. My dear President, as we go forward, technology in the mining sector will continue to grow. Zimbabwe must not be left behind. As a Chamber of Mines, it is my wish and desire that as a chamber, you compel your members of the chamber to contribute to the creation and establishment of institutions which train skills, modern skills in this particular field. So that such investments must ultimately ensure the use of technological and innovation advancements such as artificial intelligence and associated solutions across the mining value chains as found in other developed jurisdictions. As these skills are being developed, I urge the sector to remain alive to the importance of inclusivity as well as perspectives and priorities of both men and youth in the mining sector. With technology development, it opens the participation of the youth and the participation of women in the mining sector. It should not remain a dominated male sector. On our part as government, we continue to tirelessly address the bottlenecks that encumber investment through the implementation of various macroeconomic policies and measures in support of business and our local industry. Although government is no business to be in business, it is our business to make business do business. This includes through availing fiscal incentives, which this morning when your president was briefing me, mentioned about. Yes, as government, we have a responsibility for the rehabilitation of national roads and development, upgrading of airports, expansion of power generation capacity, as well as dam construction, among others. Is this represented here? Good. Minerals are not found where there is along the grid. The grids must go where mines are sited. In this spirit, just this week, my government reviewed regulations that were negatively affecting the coal subsector. As a listening president, of course, I listen to important things. You see, you might say that you have a 3-acre house which gives you a lot of problems with leaves. You come to the president and say, don't you know what you are buying? Many more serious issues. I invite stakeholders in the mining sector to come forward with proposals that can make you or your sector grow to greater heights of success. Because it is yourselves who face these challenges, and where you think my government can assist you to achieve your goals, please, my door is open. The availability of power is one of the critical factors that drive mining sector growth, particularly as we gear the local mining industry towards moving up the mineral value chain. I'm therefore glad to know that the private sector is complementing government's initiatives through independent power producers in thermal, hydro, and the solar power systems. It is also pleasing to note that there are also numerous upcoming power generation projects in Wange, which will ensure greater utilization of abundant coal reserves in this area. Ladies and gentlemen, it is encouraging that investors continue to embrace our Zimbabwe is open for business mantra, as witnessed by the ongoing investments throughout the mining sector value chain. These investments will undoubtedly complement main efforts towards the attainment of the US $12 billion mining industry target by 2023. When Minister Chitando made that proposal to Cabinet, when our mining sector value was around 2.2 billion, I laughed in my stomach and said, 2023 is not too far, and this young man doesn't know I have a good memory. We reach 2023 and it is not even halfway, I fired it. But I'm pleased that in 3 years that have passed, he has grown, this sector has grown from about 2.2 billion to 8 billion to now about 6 billion. And it's starting to hit 8 or above 8 billion by next year, by end of this year. So the probability of you being safe is there. We also commend the close relationship amongst government, parliamentarians, the private sector, traditional leaders, and the communities in general in the continuous development of mining policies in our country. The role being played by development partners in supporting various mining sector initiatives towards global best practice and improving the ease of doing business environment in our country, in our country's mining sector is equally applauded. Unfortunately, Mr. Governor Mzema, you did not attend this morning's briefing. They've been plotting to take away revenue from you, so you can see me outside. Finally, I once again commend the Chamber of Mines of Zimbabwe for organizing this annual event. It is my expectation that this conference will result in proactive resolutions and recommendations which will accelerate the realization of the various targets within our mining sector. Individually and collectively within the sector, you have a weighty role to play towards our country's economic growth and a higher quality of life of our people. In fact, the structure of our economy is it's a primary economy based on agriculture, number one. Number two is your sector. So therefore, you should realize that you are a critical cog in our economy for the development, modernization, and industrialization of our economy. You, the current leadership in the mining sector, the captains of industry in the mining sector, you must be remembered when you are gone for developing the sector for the benefit of the economy and the country and the people. However, with these few remarks, it is now my singular honor and privilege to declare the 2022 Zimbabwe Annual Mining Conference and Exhibition of Download Official here in Victoria Falls is the Minister of Mackinac Province has said. We have a magnificent Mosiotuna Falls, very close to this place. Those among you, both Zimbabweans and non-Zimbabweans who are here, I would urge you to visit the falls. So wherever you go, I get surprised when I go outside and meet our people in the diaspora who are in the diaspora. They don't know about the Victoria Falls, they don't know about the Great Zimbabwe, they don't know about the beauty of Nyanga and so on. So when they are challenged in the diaspora, they are ignorant about their country. Sometimes they meet visitors who have been to Zimbabwe who know those places and begin educating Zimbabweans in the diaspora about their country. So please, I urge you, it doesn't cost too much, but I mean it's minus, to visit the falls. And I'll assure you, I've been there many times. My first visit was 1955. Very few of you have known about it, so it's not your fault. You go there, receive the shower. Don't worry about it drying up or using an umbrella. Receive the shower. And I guarantee you that when you go back to your car, you'll be dry. If that is not happening to you, my door is open. I was saying, with these remarks, it is now my singular honor and privilege to declare the 2022 Zimbabwe Annual Mining Conference and Exhibition officially open. God bless you all.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. A big, big round of applause. Oh, I know you can do better than that. A big round of applause all across the room. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your speech. And I know that we've been taking notes and making sure that everybody's aligned to what he has spoken about. Taking care of the environment. No to Makomba. Was part of his speech, complementing government efforts with infrastructure, building roads, supporting government, and of course, a takeaway as a master of ceremonies, farmers are good people because they leave a legacy, right? So it's important that the extractive mining also takes care of its people. But Your Excellency, throughout the whole speech, one of the parts that I really caught on personally was the one you said, mining institutions, please take care of your workers, remunerate them well. This goes to Isaac Kwesu, Chamber of Mines, who is my current employer right now. I might need to revise my invoice because that negotiation we did before this conference, we might need to talk about that a little bit more. Well, thank you very much. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come, of course, to the speech by His Excellency, and he spoke about visiting the Victoria Falls. So important. From Botswana, South Africa, all our speakers, you can't leave without going to the Victoria Falls. And also, Your Excellency, government departments, when you get to the gate, pay. Don't come with the exemption letters. Pay. Okay, pay. Your Excellency, I sometimes come here and when you get there, somebody's coming out with the exemption letter. Please, we are from, and the list has got 77 people. And they want to go in for free because they are a government department. I don't know, do you talk about these things at cabinet? Do you tell them? I'm not too sure about that one. And again, Your Excellency, I know there's one thing, Your Excellency, I will bombard you with, and I know you hear it all the time, and you guys will never get tired. I was recently appointed brand ambassador for Air Zimbabwe. Yes, please clap hands for me. Now, that being said, because I'm brand ambassador Air Zimbabwe, it would be remiss of me to say to all of you and those that are watching us all around, please fly Air Zimbabwe must be your first choice of ndege, of airplane. Government departments, our boss is here, he can listen. He's listening as well. Please, as Zimbabwe comes first, I won't mention the other ones. Those ones come second. That said, Your Excellency, we're now moving on to the next stage, which is a token of appreciation. To say thank you, Siyabonga Twalumba, Zikomo Kwambili, merci beaucoup, thank you for coming. Shishini in Chinese. Nizozvanza kukanganisa, Your Excellency. But anyway, Emily, for the token of appreciation, our President of the Chamber of Mines, Mr. C. Chibafa, who's going to come through. I see the gift is coming. Dr. Manucci, you might want to, okay, there we go. You might want to hand that over. You've heard of how the, may I ask that we all remain seated so you can actually see the gift? So that everybody actually gets to see this part here. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, I know on so many commissionings and tours I've been a part of as Master of Ceremonies, if it's gold, they'll come with an imitation of gold bars. If it's diamonds, imitation of a diamond. Now that we're at the Chamber of Mines with everybody, I wonder what is in that gift. You know, all the minerals that we can think of are probably imitations, of course, of that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the vote of thanks. CEO Chamber of Mines, Vakwe Soup, please come through.
Thank you very much, our Director of Ceremonies. The President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, the Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Honorable W. Chitando, allow me to ride on the protocol that have been announced by our Director of Ceremonies, so all protocols observed. On behalf of the Chamber of Mines and the entire mining fraternity, we are sincerely honored and gratified by the honor bestowed on this event by the presence of our guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa. Your Excellency, you have once again taken time off your very busy schedule to grace this occasion. For us, this signals the importance that you and your government at the highest level attaches to the mining industry and specifically the annual mining conference. Your Excellency, we appreciate the effort by your government to develop and implement policies and measures that seek to improve the operating environment for business. The anchors that came from your speech full of wisdom and guidance magnify what your government is doing to create an enabling environment. And your recent economic interventions, as you pronounced on the 7th May of 2022, that were aimed at stabilizing the macroeconomic environment, that include the introduction of willing buyer, willing seller exchange rate, would definitely go a long way in restoring the value of the surrendered portion of export earnings. We believe, Your Excellency, the receptive posture by your government is informed by the value you have attached to our mining industry. Our industry has responded and will continue to respond by ramping up production as already reflected by the record volume of output as well as export earnings in 2021. Your Excellency, we assure you the mining industry will continue to support the government in your vision to achieve a middle income economy by 2030, as already indicated by the target the mining is going to play. Achieving 12 billion mining industry will go a long way in achieving your vision. We will be remiss by not mentioning our interest in increasing local mining or mineral beneficiation and value addition in order to unlock value from the country's rich mineral resource in order to achieve that vision. The Chamber of Mines will continue to rely on your unwavering support, your open door policy. I think all the audience here you've heard, and they can be our people who tell everyone that Zimbabwe is open for business. The HE has an open door policy, and our mining industry will continue to leverage on your open door policy to achieve our set goals and targets. Your Excellency, we assure you that as the Chamber of Mines and the mining industry at large will continue to work tirelessly for the sector to enhance its contribution to the socio-economic development agenda of our country. Together, the private sector and the government will make Zimbabwe great, and we assure you that our role as a mining sector will do the needful as expected by everyone, including the general public at large. Your Excellency, we're humbled to say these words, but our action will speak louder than these words. Once again, thank you, Your Excellency, for gracing this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in thanking our Excellency for having participated and opened this annual Mine Conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Isaac Kwesu. Again, let's give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very big round of applause. That being said, I am informed that when the Excellency leaves this podium, he will at some point make his way to the may you please then, with expediency, make your way there, and the protocol